Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Steady Focused. I'm your host, I'm your number one, Mr. SimeonHendrix, and in today's episode, we are going to get into the weeds. We're going to get into the thick of it and take another look at the world of freelancing. In episodes 30 and 46, we had Mr. Montez Ahmed on, and he talked about freelancing and traveling the world. But guys, this is a topic, like I was just talking with you, Adam, this is a topic that is one of the most frequently requested and asked to me. I don't have all the answers, but I figured, hey, this would be a great time to discuss it because Adam is in town. So on the show today, we've got Mr. Adam Cole. He is a professional, full-time freelance photographer, videographer, director, filmmaker, and he regularly tours around, jumping from one gig to another. He's a very talented guy, and like I was saying, this is the perfect person to dive deep with me as we again pull the curtain back on the freelance world. I'm excited to have him on the show to talk a little shop. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me give a big, steady, focused welcome to my friend, Mr. Adam Cole.
God, what a pleasure.
Yeah, was
wow.
that good?
Yeah, that was excellent. Yeah.
So basically I've got my notes to read the intro and then I can just gaze at you the rest of the time.
Oh, yeah, sure. Did we stop or are we still going?
No, we're great. No, this is it.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is the,
okay,
this
great.
Is the thing. We're
cool.
just going for it.
All
so,
right.
man, last time we saw each other was several months ago, and we were both on a gig in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and literally, you're in town. We haven't even had a chance to talk to each other. We just turned the cameras on.
No, I think this is the first time we've had a conversation since then, possibly.
Yeah, a couple of emails.
And, maybe a couple texts.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you, dude? Like, where you been?
Yeah, I've been around. Yeah, man, doing a bunch of different stuff. Just trying to sharpen my skill set. Trying to reach out, trying to network, just staying busy recently, I spent a lot of time on the computer. I think I mentioned that I was kind of getting into this 3D territory and animation and stuff like that. That's kind of been a big, new world for me, I guess over the last couple of years, but more in earnest this past year, actually doing jobs and
so now this is part of your freelance portfolio. Hire me to do graphics or what do you call it?
Yeah, I mean VFX, animation? 3D animation. I had my first job. I kind of made my first full-length animated piece recently and finished that up maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Was this the band music video?
No. That was that had some 3D integration, but no, it was a fully animated thing I did for a local inventor businessman.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, and it was a huge learning process. And so when you ask me what I've been up to, that looms pretty large.
So a lot of learning.
A lot of learning, my man.
Yeah. What's the hardest thing for you? And people have sent in a lot of questions that we're going to go over today, and I think it's great. But for you, what's your most difficult part about being a freelancer?
I mean, probably, some of the same things that are difficult for, anybody else out there trying to get in that game. Just drumming up work, my man, and getting paid. So
getting paid.
Yeah, that's
right?
real. And you gotta, that's why, we try and stipulate, maybe getting that 50% right out of the gate, whatever. You learn lessons. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's one hardest part necessarily. as any freelancer would tell you. But yeah, I mean, just staying steady focused, steady grinding, blah blah blah.
Steady at it.
Yeah, just staying busy. But luckily, recently I've been staying busy, and I think for somebody like me, it it can take a while to get started. It can take a while to keep that momentum going.
Okay.
Right.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's just I don't want to say you have to have patience, but you have to try and focus on the things that you can control, like doing your best, and following up with clients, and giving them exactly what they want, and really trying. That's just on the kind of like production side.
How did you start building your portfolio? That was one of the things people are talking about. Like, hey, because I mean, you gotta have some sort of product,
Right.
so you can take it to someone and sell them on. Hey, hire
Right.
me to do this.
Exactly.
So, I have some people who are saying, hey, Simeon, I want to freelance, but I've got a day job and I don't have time to put in the work and come up with a portfolio.
Yeah.
So when I hear that, I mean, honestly, Adam, I want to put on my fire hat and just get like crazy on it. And these are some of my good friends that are saying,
Hold on, what's your fire hat exactly?
fire hat? It's like I put it on, and you would get some of your CG, and
okay.
it's just flames on top of it. And
tight.
my eyes turn red.
Oh my
and
God.
it's like I have a demon voice.
Oh, that's cool. All right, maybe you can give me a little taste of that later.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we're about to get into it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely don't have all the answers. I've done a lot of freelance work myself, but it's to me like when they say I don't have time to build my portfolio. If they say I don't know how to do it, I'm lost, I'm confused, I get that. But if they say I don't have time, then I'm like, get out. I mean,
time.
you
Sure.
gotta make time. I mean,
Yeah,
what are you watching television? What are you doing at 3 o'clock in the morning? What are you doing at 4 o'clock in the morning?
You got time, yeah.
You got time, so find the time. So for me, like if I've got one of my good friends and they're saying my biggest obstacle is I don't have enough time, I'm like, dude, you just hit the jackpot because we can make some fucking time.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, unless there's a crazy circumstance and you've got a bunch of kids and there's just something crazy going on. But
Right. But if you're talking to me, you got time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got time.
Right.
So,
if you're complaining about it, you got time.
Right, exactly. Yeah. If my friend's like, man, I can't figure this out. So
I agree, yeah.
What did you do to get your portfolio going, like before you were able to get clients?
Well, look, I mean, this doesn't sound. I don't know how. This isn't really interesting, but I mean, I would just say first off, and this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier, is like you have to look at everything that you do as part of your portfolio, right? Before we start talking, it's just it's kind of like you said. It's like if you don't have the time, then get out. Like, it's like if you don't like what you're producing, either make it better or stop. Like, right?
Yeah.
That's the greatest. It's one of the freest and greatest gifts we have is, just the ability to be critical of ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it sounds silly, and I don't want to sound preachy. I already am, but it's just. If you're not satisfied with what you're doing, try and make it better. I mean, that sounds so simple, right?
So then we can say like that, like, okay, guys, because I want to really give some action steps, even though I'm coming down hard, and I'm coming down on myself because there's
right. We all suck, man.
To hear that from someone else who is being honest and saying, hey, Simeon, my struggle is I don't have the time, and I can be like whipping on them, but then I can look at myself and say, okay, there's things I'm not accomplishing as well. So I can use that look in the mirror and then put on my flame hat to talk to myself to say, hey, Simeon, you can make time. So So we're looking at action steps. So I think one in there is, like we're saying, make time and put in the work on your craft.
Right.
So maybe you don't have a client right away, but we're wanting to do photography. Grab a friend, go out and shoot with them.
Yeah, go do it. Watch a tutorial, man. It's the information age.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I've taught myself how to animate on my
Yes.
computer.
Watching it is good, but doing it is
Oh
more
yeah.
good.
No, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Or is it?
But I mean, if you're gonna tell me you don't know how to do it, then
Okay,
someone will tell
educate
you.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Educate myself.
Yeah, and maybe that's like that's a precursor to what I was talking about, which was hopefully just do it better or just do it, right?
What do you do? You have had a lot of experience. You fail a lot too, just like
Sure.
we are,
Oh yeah.
closing the deal and getting money from a client in your hand. So
Yeah.
that's another big thing is, okay, how do I, all right, I've got a couple of things in my portfolio. I'm going to the guy. How do you base what you should get paid?
Yeah. Well, let me just say this too. I got into production relatively late in life. I'm 35 years old. I taught music for a while, for maybe 6 years, and stopped doing that. I think maybe, I don't know, when I was 29. So I mean, I've only been in production like 6 years or something like that. And I'm kind of veering off to the left here, but
It's real life.
yeah, and luckily, I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. My wife has a solid 9 to 5 job, she's been able to support me in those rough patch times for sure, no doubt. And we don't have any kids, so like that's another plus. But like again, I know you asked about how to get paid and stuff like that, but what I was just gonna say was or maybe I've completely lost my train of thought and we need to cut. I don't know.
No,
but
there is no.
Yeah.
There are no
There are
cuts.
no.
There's
Okay,
no
we're
cuts.
steady rolling.
Yeah, we're just
okay.
gonna roll with it. But it's good. Take your time.
No.
Get your
Yeah.
thoughts.
So I think what I was getting at was something to the effect of like I'm still learning all of this, and I've failed numerous times, and I'm still learning how to get paid. And I'm still I wrote up. Some contracts the other day, and that was like truly the first time that I've had to do that. I got on Rocket Lawyer. That's a great source. Like if you need to write up contracts and stuff, and stipulate. I mean, as far as I can tell, a great industry standard is to get paid half up front and half later. As freelancer, you need that income. You need it immediately. So. No, I think you're good, man. Yeah,
Yeah, you're good.
This is what I like,
Yeah, the real.
Effing real, my dude.
We're here in downtown Wichita Falls.
Yeah.
We're in the First Texas building. They're renovating up here. They had it closed down, but they gave us a pass to come up.
So yeah. After derailing this whole thing to China and coming back to the States, I would say I'm still learning all of this. But another thing is I'm kind of a nice guy. Don't want to necessarily ruffle a lot of feathers. I'm having fun with you, but my dad was an accountant for 30 years for the government. And I think the other day he was like, I was telling him, yeah, I'm trying to quote this job, and he was like, I never could have done that, Like, I think it's knowing your worth. It's asking for money.
Yes, it's difficult.
It's not easy at all.
You're the salesman and you're the worker.
Yeah.
You're the manager and you're the model. You're all of that in one.
So many hats on that head, along with that fire hat. Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is before you ask me these questions and I quote unquote give you these answers, still learning, my man.
Learning.
Always learning.
Okay.
Always learning. But I think if you have that approach, you can allow yourself to fail.
Yes.
And you can allow yourself to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's easy to get really discouraged sometimes, but I guarantee you learned something when you did.
Yes.
Did you not?
Yeah, and that's
you
where,
did.
I mean, we've heard it. I hear it a lot. You're repeating it right now, but this will be. If I was making bullet points, I guess this is number 3. Like, just do it. Keep showing up and fail and fail.
Right.
I think it's real easy just to sit back and say, okay, I want to jump into freelance, but like scare ourselves into non-action. Like, oh, I got to get all this stuff ready. I got to have my perfect pitch. I've got to have the perfect portfolio. I've got to have. I got to get paid more than what I'm worth. I got to, I got to be balls out in the discussion. But I think, now I'm hearing this, like, it's important to do, like, don't forget to, like, just show up.
Yeah.
Book the job.
Yeah.
Evaluate how did it go. Did you feel like you got paid too little? Yes. Okay.
You learned something. Yeah, and maybe start writing down, what it was you went through to get that product, and now you can start evaluating your time a little better.
Yeah.
I'm still bad about that,
Yes.
I've got people asking me like, okay, well, what's your hourly edit rate? It's like, well, I usually do like a flat like day rate, but I need to know. I need to be able to just, parse that out into an hourly thing, and I kind of have. But, just little stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, but sorry, I kind of jumped on your thing there. But
well, you've been on a lot of movie sets, or more than me. You've been around that.
Not necessarily. I mean, it was more of like commercial production.
Commercial
in Dallas.
production.
Yeah.
However you want to blah blah set.
Right,
like a movie set, a commercial production set, and in that world, it's very common for each individual role to say, this guy's making $150 a day. This guy, right? Isn't that kind of the way that world works?
Yeah. Day rates.
Day rates. Okay.
Yeah.
What are day rates? Because I just recently heard that term from either you or Scott here at Hager Communications.
Okay.
I'd never heard that before.
Yeah, sure. I don't know that I'll be able to give you a treatise on day rates, but yeah, I mean, that's generally, and I hope that was the correct usage of the word treatise. But I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. I just saw it in my mind. I mean, since when I first started PAing, a few years back, what I remember was like seeing the coordinator or the producer, writing out everyone's check, and it was all day rate, and you'd see like PA like 200 a day, and you'd see like, oh, I don't know, like, grip, like 450, 500 a day, What I remember was like, man, everybody's making more money than I am, like that's what I remember. But yeah, it was all like a day rate. I think you need to know what your day rate is, because you'll get asked that, right?
Yeah.
It could be anything. I mean, your editing day rate could be like 200, it could be 350, it could be 500. There's like people who say that your hourly should be anywhere from like 25 to like $100 an hour, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it can vary. That's the beauty of freelancing though too, is like you set your own rates.
Yeah, that's true.
And that can be a little overwhelming, but that can be really great, right? I mean,
yeah, right. When you get paid, or when someone says, you
can kind of have a little game, it's daunting, but it can get kind of fun too, right?
It is. They're like, how much is it going to be? And I'm like, how much is it? It's however much you have plus 10%. I mean, like, sure. I want to make as much freaking money as I can.
Let me ask you this, Simeon. Have you ever thought, oh, I'm going to give them this rate, and oh boy, there's going to be some blowback for this, and then they just go, oh yeah, that sounds great.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Yes.
Like, what a moment that is. I feel like I just did opium or something.
And then instantly it feels like, damn, I sold it. I was too short,
Exactly. And what happened? You learned something.
Yeah.
You learned a lot. You learned a lot. And it's something to think about. What were we talking about? I don't know.
So, guys, there you go. I mean, it's important to don't like overthink ourselves into paralysis.
Yeah.
And try to get everything figured out.
And don't assume.
Right. There you go. Like, God willing, like we're both on the climb. You guys at home are on the climb.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, when we're 70, 80 years old, we're still going to be learning and reaching towards something.
Yeah.
So,
And let me say this too.
yeah.
Because this is what, I kind of get this thing where I'm like, oh man, everybody, everybody can do this, like, here's the deal. If you're a photographer, and you're watching, you're on your photography Reddit thread, or you're watching photography tutorials or whatever, you're always around photographers and stuff. Most people can't do what you do.
That's true. That's a very good
So
point.
just remember that. Like, don't think like, oh man, I'm looking at, I'm looking at all these amazing photographers and I'm a schmuck, It's like, well, again, a lot of people have, how many people, I don't know, I was just at a school and I saw like all these like, it was like at a pep rally. Had a job at a school and I was at a pep rally, and I see these like mothers with these like huge lenses, and they have no clue what they're doing with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they wanted a camera at some point, and now, but I'm looking at it, it's like now's the time for them to shoot it, and they can't. So just remember, and a lot of people that have money don't know how to shoot. So I'm just saying, remind yourself that, hey, maybe I'm not horrible. I mean, I don't know. That's like a weird way to look at it, but
no, I get it. Not
right.
And there's a lot of people that talk the talk, and of those, there's few of them that will get out there and get dirty and fail and get muddy and go through a situation where, man, I just undercut myself like crazy, and I just ended up working a whole week, and I'm making way less than minimum wage because I didn't know how to.
Right.
So
yeah, you got to know how much work you're putting into stuff.
All right, guys, I'm going like on a circus. I was a little heated. Now I'm coming back to compassion and empathy, and just talking that, man, if you want to go freelance, you gotta put in the work. You gotta work. It's great because you're your own boss, but it's extremely difficult because you don't have the boss giving you a straight paycheck. You get the more freedom, but you got a lot more of the responsibility. So I think another key thing is, we hear it, but put out in your passion projects or the work that you're doing, share the work that you want to get hired for. So, Adam, if you're wanting to do more CG,
right,
I would think that would be the stuff that we want to see that you're sharing more. I want to do more video, so that's kind of the stuff I want to be sharing. Hey guys, here's some photography stuff. I want to do interviews.
You mean like social media and stuff like that?
Yeah, or
sure.
in your printed portfolio or whatever.
Well, and what I was gonna say, which is, like I just cut a new reel and I took it to about 6 staffing agencies.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Take it to a staffing, and they all ate it up. I mean, because they're looking for that. I've got a job through a staffing agency Monday, Tuesday.
There you go.
Okay. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And again, I'm still trying to, you're not interviewing a celebrity. I'm still trying to climb the ropes. But I mean, it kind of, I had kind of heard, I kind of thought like, oh yeah, that sounds like whatever. But it seems like I was always working on something else, or like, sharpening my skill set. Dude, go to a staffing agency, right?
There you go. That's great. I didn't even think of that.
Boom.
But yeah, I mean, you got to. So you got your new.
Get yourself
reel
out
together.
there, though. I think is what you're saying, and
And
I'm
then
just saying that's another way to do that.
I think that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
How often do you have? Have you worked with a lot of agencies as a freelance?
Yeah, a fair amount.
And what have you tried the who do you know to them, and like, do you get a lot of referrals down the chain?
Yeah, man, it's definitely a word of mouth situation a lot of times. What was good for me was I luckily, knew some kind production coordinators who got me into the commercial production world. And that's, if you can, depending on what city you're in, I, highly suggest, just trying to get on as a PA, man, on any of those sets. Because what happened was, you make friends and then they, maybe have some gig, some smaller, video or photo shoot that maybe they can't do, and they'll pass it on to you. Sometimes those involve an agency, sometimes they don't. But that definitely got the ball rolling for me. That was a huge catalyst for me and my career. And, when you're on set, depending on the size of it, there's anywhere from 20 to 50 people on set.
Talk about Classic Cuts. What is Classic Cuts?
It's this this DJ who has kind of like a web series, which is produced by a local student at a local AV club, high school, in a high school, who produces these little videos for him. And the deal is he talks at great lengths about classic songs from the past, but he unfortunately gets the artist wrong every time while discussing it. I think the first one is, he's talking about Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run, but he unfortunately thinks that it was John Cougar Mellencamp who recorded that song. So he tells his little student that it's Cougar Mellencamp, and this kid's 12 years old. He doesn't know. He wasn't alive in the 70s or 80s, so the whole thing has John Cougar Mellencamp, and then the kid, he kind of gets a little bored with just making these graphics, so he starts having fun with the graphics, and it just turns into a shit show from there. I don't want to sit here and act like it's some institution or that we're still recording them. There's I think 4 or 5, but they're on the internet,
and they're great, and they're older, but it just shows your creativity.
Oh, thanks, man. And I would just say that's how I learned to edit, was doing that show that a very small faction of the population. Oh yeah, you're good. Yeah. This is great.
Here. So my brother hit Scott. He's my younger brother, and
okay.
He lives in San Antonio. He knew we were doing this episode, and he's dabbled in freelance, and he actually worked at Hager for a while.
Okay.
So let's look at it from what advice would you give to somebody who is on the come up?
Stop, man. Get out. I'm joking. Sorry, buddy. I'm a jokester. Keep it coming. Here we go.
Maybe they're a little unsure of themselves.
Yeah.
But they want to get into it. They don't know what to do. What advice would you give?
I could only give the advice that was kind of pertinent to my life and my story, which was I'm sure that San Antonio has a commercial market, and I know people want to do a lot of people want to just do movies and stuff, and maybe there's movie productions happening there. I have no clue, but just trying to jump on set, dude. Just learning stuff, learning the biz, man, learning the lingo, man, learning and getting paid to do it, right?
Yeah.
Jumping on as a PA or whatever. That's what was so huge for me, and that's what started the ball rolling for me. I candidly couldn't tell you how to do it outside of that. To be totally honest with you, I wouldn't know. There's no freelance corner where we all go and have a town hall at, right? I mean, maybe that's you, listen to more Simeon, listen to your older brother, right?
Yeah. Well, really, listen to me, Scott.
Listen to him, jerk.
Yeah.
But maybe some of that's valuable to him. Maybe there is some industry in San Antonio that he can just, get a foot in the door and I don't know, right?
Well, again, it comes back to, guys, just do the work. Don't worry about the money.
Yeah.
At least for the first few waves. Just worry about putting in the work, build the portfolio. when it comes time to get paid, guys, there's so many references out there on like books you can read. Our friend Sean West has this whole course on guides. I mean, there's guides you can get, but I think for the majority of the people listening, I think it's just put in the work. Just keep putting in work. Just do it.
That's when you have to work the hardest. I mean, that was one of the big reasons of doing classic cuts was just to be doing something, and to learn how to make John Mellencamp's legs separate from his body and now have flames shooting out of his torso and fly like a rocket into space. It's just do something, right? I mean, if you're not,
I completely agree.
if you're not working, I mean, obviously you got to work, so if you have, get a part-time gig, and then do it on the side.
Have a part-time job. So while you've got this other job that can kind of hold your bills down, so you don't have to take a lot of jobs that you have no desire to do, like freelance. There's a benefit of, to some degree, being able to take jobs that you want versus not.
Well, and the benefit of freelance is that you can work other jobs.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Let's look at it that way.
There you go.
I mean, I've done eBay, babysit, music lessons.
There you go.
There you go. Whatever you can, but if you ain't doing nothing, bro, you need to do something.
Yes.
Again, it was like, just shooting those few episodes was like going to school.
There you go.
Man.
Man, we've really kind of been all over the place. We're at, I'm kind of like, I hope this episode was good. I feel like I was all over the place on it.
Oh boy, yeah.
So there you go, guys. I know we were tuning in. We're talking freelance, so you can see Adam makes a living freelancing, and at times he doesn't. Right? I mean, at times he does other jobs. I make a living photographing video. I work my day job. I work at the hospital. I'm on the marketing team. My passion stuff, I'm doing this video. I'm shooting right now. I got 2 cameras right here. I got audio set up. Yeah. I'm making mistakes. I'm already...
We're on a defunct floor.
Yeah. So...
Construction workers walking by.
This is... The failures that we make today are going to build upon and be the footsteps of our successes tomorrow.
Yeah, and who knows who you're going to meet, right?
Exactly.
Just doing it.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right, dude. So I kind of naively, I don't know, was thinking, I don't know why I was even thinking this, but like somehow I was going to be able to package up, hey guys, tune into episode 60. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about freelancing in 30 minutes. But it's messy and it's greasy and it's just it's real world, so
and can be part of the fun.
And it's fun.
And it's always different. That's what I like.
Do you have something that comes out into your the best advice you were ever given, or like a mantra you tell yourself when it gets tough?
Oh man, You said advice. I was given. I don't have a. I wish I had a cool little. I was thinking earlier when we were talking about failing. I was like, oh man, like somebody should start a company and like the slogan should just be "fail hard,"
Fail
so
hard.
I want to put that out there for no reason, but
I love it.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That.
Like just fail out, even instead of ball out, just fail out.
Fail out.
Because
we learn from the
embrace
fails.
it. Yeah, for sure. But no, I would. Just another thing is for a huge thing for me, just in my learning process, a guy I met on set who's a super amazing DP in Dallas, this guy Andrew Haychek, last name Hajek. He basically, took time from his schedule. He's a funny guy. I've been told I'm a funny guy, but we kind of linked up. We did a bunch of spec stuff. We ended up selling a spot. So we actually kind of paid off. But man, I learned so much from him, and I think about just how unselfish he was about taking the time to just teach me about exposure, or shutter speed, anything. And it wouldn't have happened if I just didn't have an open mind and wasn't willing to kind of like put my palms up and just be like, I'm a dum-dum. Tell me everything you can, And like, to his credit, he wasn't, like, get out of here, punk, even though he's like younger than me, but like, he went to film school and stuff, and like, but just be a sponge, but like try and so I guess what I'm trying to say is like, find people who know more than you do.
There you go.
And hang out with them.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
don't have any pride, and just and try not to be super annoying, but ask a lot of questions.
There you go.
So like, advice that I would give to people is kind of like something along those lines of just immerse yourself in it, surround yourself with it, try not to have too much pride, and fail out, bro.
That's good, dude. I know it's like a joke, but it's so like perfect at the same time. I'm thinking.
Well, I am perfect. So
well, you are perfect.
What am I talking about? Of course, I'm joking.
Man, I'm reminded of the line. It's to something of the effect of, unless we are to be as a child, we cannot enter the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
And it's just exactly what you're saying about like humble ourselves enough to, like you said, put your palms up.
Totally.
And, I don't know how to do this, but
dude, I was almost 30 when I'm, asking how shutter speed works. You know what I mean? Like, but I think there was a sense of urgency, so I felt like I just had to learn all the time. But yes, and it's not easy to like be like, hey, so what does shutter speed mean?
Yeah, but we gotta learn.
Yeah, you have to fail out.
Fail out. That's it. Fail out.
Yeah.
Fail out. I think that's gonna be the title of this episode. Fail out.
Look at that.
Hey, hey,
$20
all right,
for
guys, episode 60. We're going to tell you everything you need to know about freelancing. 30 minutes. Here it is. One sentence. Fail out.
Yeah.
Period.
Right. Yeah.
From two guys who have cameras and make money with them.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me everything you know. Fail out.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, and if you just keep doing that, you'll look back and be like, damn, I've come a long way.
That's it. Okay. So...
started from the bottom, now we here?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm
That's
bullshitting
great.
here. Yeah, man. You just take it. Don't be prideful. Don't be stubborn. Don't get too discouraged, man. I mean, I don't know. How do you teach that shit though? I don't know.
Yeah. And then this is so. There's so many facets of freelance, and I got to make a living at this, and it's like, okay, well, you can make a living at it, but you're going to have to take a look at your finances. And it's like, yeah, let's be honest. Your first few projects, you're probably not going to be able to freaking have a badass house, a nice car, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But you might be able to have a really small apartment and, so you got to take a look at your finances. Like, and do you want freedom, or do you want to be locked down into new things? Like, oh, I want new cars. I want a new house. Well, you can do that, but you're probably not going to be able to have the freedom of exploring the world as a freelance person right off the bat.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to think about it. You obviously got to pay your dues, but you got to be realistic. By no means do I want like classic cuts to be the, like the calling card for me in my career.
It's
Right?
awesome.
But what I would say is like, yeah, like, we shot it in this little side house. And we what did we use for set decorations? Well, it was just a bunch of old shitty LP record sleeves, like we just pasted on the walls. What did we use for costumes? Thrift store finds for sure.
Yeah.
What did we use for, like little props? I mean, little sunglasses, little dinky things we had lying around, like a cup of water here, a little microphone here. I mean, it's all free,
Yeah.
and but it's doable. And like it looked relatively
Looks awesome.
decent, like,
Guys, check out Classic Cuts with a CUTZ.
yeah,
on
of
YouTube.
course.
Look
Yeah,
it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
you'll
pretty
see it.
ridiculous. But yeah, and because the thing is like, how much do ideas cost?
That's good.
How much?
That's good.
I'm trying to remember the exact.
It's free. Yeah.
Is
That's
it?
good.
Oh,
man.
zero? $0 too? You know, right? So like if you're
good.
sitting around, oh, I can't do stuff. Well, why don't you think about some shit, and get off your fucking ass.
Really? Like,
Yeah.
and you can say, oh, Adam's being an ass, but use that mentality and look yourself in the mirror and say, Simeon, get off your ass, brother. Like, get off my ass.
You had started off the whole thing with just like, if you got the time, you got the time.
Yeah.
And if you're saying you don't have the time, you still have the time. Like,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
And like you said, unless you're
Unless there's something,
1890s Irish man with 14 kids, whatever. But
and you're just,
and a lot of people are, like
Yeah.
you can't. So yeah, maybe it's time to like kind of reconsider. But
audit your life. Where are you spending your time? I mean, take a real serious look, because we're talking serious stuff. Like, you guys are really coming to me with some real questions, like, I want to advance my life. I want to do this. Take a serious, honest look at your life. Where are you spending your time? Are you dedicating the time?
because it's going to take time.
It is going to take time.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of failure. And it's going to take a lot of fear to, man, I'm going to fail. Like me setting up these cameras in here, this is out of my realm, but I'm doing it. And pretty much after every episode, I'm like, oh, freaking, I failed in a certain way, but it's like, okay, man, just keep going. Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically why, other than I'm enjoying it.
Write a web series about having no ideas. Like you use your disgruntled nature as motivation somehow. Flip everything. Flip your brain. I mean, like, I could give you an idea. If like somebody, I don't know, man. I don't have I guess, a lot of tolerance for just like laziness and.
There you go. Jackie talked about it last week. We're talking about it this week. Laziness. And be honest. Honestly evaluate yourself and your life. Audit your time. And then love yourself. Love the journey. Continue to ask questions along the way. Continue to get knowledge. Watch shows. You're going to figure it out. You're going to fail. And you're going to keep climbing. Unless you choose to quit. And then if you quit, you're going to stop on level 3 of Super Mario Brothers, or whatever the fuck the episodes are. Yeah. And that's where you're going to be. Or you're going to keep climbing and you're going to keep going.
Yeah.
Adam, final thoughts.
Final thoughts is, dude, just keep grinding. Of course, everyone says that, but it's true. When you hear people say, don't be lazy, don't think that they don't have mornings where they don't want to get up. Sometimes they want to stay in bed, but they're not supermen. Don't think that everyone else is a Superman. Know that you are also have the power to be a Superman.
I like that.
Stuff like that, and I'm telling myself that I've got a long way to go. I mean, I think we all have a long way to go. Keep learning. Again, this is all stuff I'm just telling myself.
Yeah, and I'm taking it as
Yeah.
I mean, I'm taking it as well.
Sound pretentious AF, but yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Hopefully you guys got something out of this episode. If you did, hit us up and let us know what your thoughts were. So guys, until next time, I'm your host. I'm your number one, Mr. SimeonHendrix. And this is Steady Focused.